11, I made some green, red, and blue dye and then combined it in here with some stone to make a pedestal that I thought could make me generate infinite dirt, but unfortunately it doesn't work like that and it only works for cobblestone, so that's kind of disappointing, but it's not the end of the world. So I got the new unintended cobblestone generator up and running, and that thing will just run passively whilst we continue on progressing through life, and all I have to do is click it to get the cobble from it, so that entire process is automated now. But once that was all out of the way, I also made some hoppers to try and somewhat automate my dirt processing, that way it could be a little bit more efficient, and I mean, to my surprise, it actually worked. Now, it's not full auto yet, but I guess it could possibly be soon, I don't know. Now, with the grand whopping total of the 6 extra dirt I had, I added a little bit of an expansion to the island. Ooh, that's big progress right there. Then I spent the rest of the day farming and breaking down cobble into gravel in hopes of more iron. And by the way, I don't know if you could tell, but I absolutely love sieving through items and wasting my time just watching gravel go through a mesh. It's so fun and not boring at all. Please make it stop. Now, the horrors of sieving aside, on day 12, things were going pretty good. So I started to look into what we could actually do to start growing blocks from the Botanica mod, I think it's called. And it just so happened that I had access to everything that I was going to need to get started. So I got to gathering and crafting everything I would need and then placing it all down and eventually making some dirt seeds that I then planted down in this pot right here, and boom! Renewable, automatic dirt farm. Now, by the time I was done, the sun was already rising on day 13, so I put some of my wood to use and expanded out the island some more because why not? Now, I only actually managed to get one island added and filled in because, well, they were a lot bigger than I anticipated. But after finishing our singular island, I went back to check on the dirt and cobble production, and, well, that was going pretty well. Nothing too special, just a little bit. So I decided to grab some of the dirt essence and craft it into blocks, and then go around placing it around the side of my main island before sorting out a little bit of my storage, and then going to bed. And when I woke up on day 14, I had the burning urge to start a farm on my new island that I just spent half of the previous day filling in with wood, but it's fine, it's just a minor delay. So I planted down another dirt seed, harvested the essence that I already had, and got to work on replacing the wood with dirt and water. Now, this is quite a big island, and I do not have that much dirt just yet, so I did what I could for now, and I will work on the island passively to complete it. Anyways, I spent the night putting my obscene amount of cobblestone to use by breaking it down into gravel, and once again sieving through it in search of more ores. Honestly, I cannot think of a better way to spend your nights. Alrighty, so for the next few days I got to work on growing and chopping down as many trees as I could, and then put all the wood to use by building out my remaining islands, or at least the outline of them. Because it was going to need doing at some point, and, well, I can gather wood pretty quickly, so why not just get it out of the way? But oh boy, let me tell you, this was hella tedious, especially working with slabs, because they'd sometimes auto-place below and above the blocks. It was just annoying, but I know that the end result's going to be worth it. And so after working tirelessly for a couple of days, all of the outlines of the islands were done, and I spent the night of day 18 expanding out the farm a little bit and killing a few mobs, as well as planting down our first seeds to actually make it a farm. And on the morning of day 19, I made myself a brand new shiny sieve, but this time it's a heavy one that takes compressed gravel instead of normal gravel, and, well, just look at this. Sieving became a hell of a lot more fun. Now, this feels like cheating at this point, but it is genuinely a feature, and it's absolutely crazy. So, after sieving for a little while, I began work on filling in an island with dirt to use as a tree farm so that we can actually get some greenery up in here because it's looking pretty dull right now. And after placing down all the dirt, I added a little crappy path over there just to help spread some grass, and then tried to see if sandstone seeds were a thing, but they aren't. But that's okay because I can get it pretty easy anyway. Now, this may come as a surprise to you, so prepare yourself, because I spent the night sieving through gravel. That's right, I bet you didn't see that one coming. And I also made some fernite to try and keep up with the smelting of them because my efficiency had gone up quite a bit. Also, at some point in the night, I heard an explosion and looked over to find my dirt island filled with everything imaginable, including these night fellows who were just trying to clear the place up. But I guess one of them really just had enough of dealing with everything and just decided to go bye-bye straight off the edge. And oh boy, let me tell you, this gravel's making that fate seem very, very preferable. Anyways, I paid no more attention to the island goers over there and just sieved my way through the night, as well as making 2 blast furnaces. And as the sun was rising on the morning of day 20, I watched all the mobs become nice and char-grilled, discovering that there's some big boy zombies in this mod pack, so that made me feel just so much safer. Now I guess I kind of understand why the guy did what he did last night. One look at this guy and he noped out. After my morning entertainment, I went and patched up the holes in the island, dealing with the stragglers in the process, and then went around placing torches so that doesn't happen again. Then I decided to go and check on the progress of the grass spreading that was going about as well as expected. So I made and planted down some coal seeds and proceeded to plant down and grow some trees over at the new island, making things look a little bit nicer but still pretty damn bland because of the lack of grass. But hopefully that'll change soon. Then I placed down more dirt between the area of the central and outer island before once again spending the night sieving. But this time it wasn't specific to gravel, okay, this time we did dirt and sand as well. However, I got into a fight with this OP zombie right here and decided to actually go and get some sleep. And so on day 21, I gathered a bunch of cobblestone from the pedestal, crafted it into cobblestone bricks, grabbed some dirt and began work on another island that I was going to make into a mob farm because I need quite a lot of mob drops to progress further in some of these mods. So I worked on the farm all of day 21 and into day 22 when finally by the evening it was all up and running. So I spent the night there just boofing mobs. I even ended up getting a little present containing a Curse of Bones book. I don't know what it does, but I have it. And by the morning of day 23 I had a pretty good amount of mob drops. So I started work on the next botanical kind of mod pack, which is one of my favorites, and made some funky bone meal to grow some flowers that I used the petals for to create this petal apothecary. And now we can make magical flowers that do things such as, change one block into another block and all kinds of cool stuff like that. So I got to work on making a pure daisy that I needed a load of white petals for. So I crafted some more funky bone meal and farmed out white flowers until I finally had enough and added them all to the apothecary, and boom, we now have a few pure daisies. So with those out of the way, I headed over to the farm and grabbed all of the pumpkins that are grown and crafted them into fell pumpkins that'll come into use later. Now, if you've seen the previous 100 days, you know why they're useful. Then I spent the rest of the night, well, you already know what I did for the rest of the night, okay? I sieved through some more gravel, but I did also add some more dirt to the farm, so I did switch things up a little bit. Now, on the morning of day 24, I made myself a full set of iron armor so that I wasn't as defenseless as a wet paper towel, and then decided it was time to start working a house, because I'm kind of sick of sleeping out in the rain. So I gathered a bunch of wood and headed over to one of the unused islands and began work on filling it in just to store all the stuff from the main island over on there, then returned back to the main island and began work on my home. Now, this was a really cool looking house, okay? I don't think I've built anything really similar to this before. It's got multiple levels, it's kind of funky looking, it's really good. So if you want to build this house for yourself, go check out Ben's Funkle. The tutorial will be linked down in the description and in the top right now. And so after a good few days of working on this house, straight up just doing nothing else except building this thing, it was finally done and I think it came out looking pretty nice.